So, continuing on with D&D, you guys are about a week and a half's travel back to town. You're arriving. Nikolai has woken up probably 4 or 5 days ago. After about a week of being unconscious in the back of the carriage, you have awakened.
What is a wagon?
Wagon, carriage, what have you. It's in worse repair because you did kind of orbital bombard half of it last week.
That's fine.
You are also, at least initially, unaware of any changes because of the fact that you can't see any exposed skin because you're in full plate.
Yep. Breastplate, yeah.
Well, you in your token you have gauntlets and stuff.
Oh yeah, so, I have the gauntlets intentionally, but yeah, it's technically only like breastplate.
Yes, so because you can't see any skin, you're just aware you are alive after diving into molten rock.
Hey! Why are you blue?
Don't be ridiculous. Maybe it's sleep, but I'm not blue.
I literally pull out of a mirror out of my set and show him.
Do you have a mirror?
Yes.
Well then.
Roll to ignore, Trent. Roll to ignore.
I'm blue. For everyone's reference, I want the star pattern on my top of my head as well, so that will be there, but it probably won't be in the token because effort.
I'm also assuming that's covered by a helmet.
I don't wear a helmet.
Okay. Well, still, why are you blue? Old mirror.
Well, I'd say it probably would have something to do with being reborn. Smile. I'd know that, right, James? No? Yes?
Probably.
Okay.
That was the whole idea of you jumping in there.
Okay, cool. But yes, I have been reborn. Yeah. More blue than I'd prefer, but what can you do?
Reborn?
Did you not pay attention to any of the scribbles on the walls?
I can't read that.
The ones in the lower part that nearly anybody could read?
Oh, that. Yeah, that said something about if you're worthy and jumping in and stuff.
Yes. Yes, it did.
I look at Nikolai and say, do you know what actually happened?
Well, you know, I jumped in. I took the plunge. I was devout. The Star Mother thought I was worthy, and she has altered my form in her visage.
Right. So why did you blow up the temple? How did you blow up the temple?
I thought that was always the plan. Clearly you didn't.
No, we tried.
Poorly.
But
Let's
you
just
kind
say...
of blew it up and threw magma in the air and...
Let's just say...
made a volcano.
Wizards are capable of much more than you realize.
Apparently.
I'm taking full credit for that. I ain't give a fuck. I made a volcano? Good to know.
Now do it again.
No. Was that in character?
No.
Okay. Later. I don't need to prove I can do it.
I look and say, could you hear or see anything while you were out of it?
Hey, James, could I hear or see anything while I was out of it?
No, you are missing a week of memory.
No, the last thing I remember was taking the plunge, being devout, hearing a voice, and waking up here.
You heard something?
Yes, that wasn't no one that yous know.
What'd it say?
Yes, words. Better help, James.
I'm in. You're monologuing. I took a chance to have a bite to eat.
Yeah, that's fair. Yes.
Mallory looks and says,
My memory's a little fuzzy. If I remember, I will let you know what they said.
Mallory looks and says,
But what was that?
go.
No, I don't know your name. Is what we're pushing here, Jess.
No, Mallory looks and says, by the way, the name is Mallory. Everybody else knows it now. So,
I just turn to Mallory and say, "You told him of your own volition.
I guess we're friends now.
What have you done with Mallory?"
I look and
Maybe
say,
she died in the volcano.
I look and say, I am what I am, and my name is Mallory.
Well, she was unconscious for a while.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were. You knocked to 0.
Yeah.
Finally putting in the level 4 spell that I took because I forgot to do it earlier. It's an enchantment spell.
Neat.
Yeah, we get new toys at level 7. That's fun.
I get a 4th level spell called Summon Volcano. Isn't that right, James? Yeah.
I am
Don't-
He didn't say no.
But Mallory looks at Peter's character and says, well, everybody else knows anyway, so he was going to hear it.
Yes.
But yes, I am what I am, and my name is Mallory. She smiles and she
You are
turns.
annoying and the name is Mallory. Good to know.
Also, according to that one, I point at the 2 players that aren't here.
Uh-huh. The 2 that want to kill me, yep.
Apparently, she's undead, celestial, elemental, and something else.
Alright, join the party.
She's lots of things.
And I want to sleep in a volcano. That's not that weird.
Yeah.
However, I am quite interested. I might research you later.
Right.
You might. Did you just say research or reset?
Research.
Me later.
Yes.
I glare at you, and
You
then
have piqued my interest, Miss 3 different types of living being.
4.
4 Miss types of living being. Elemental, undead, and whatever else it was.
Celestial and Fiends.
she
Yeah.
looks and she
For someone
says,
who hates undead, do you hate yourself?
she looks and she smiles and says, I am
No,
what I
during the
am. and
play,
my
Jeff.
name is
Huh?
Mallory."
Really?
She smiles and says, I am what I am, and my name is Mallory.
Ah, you hate all undead, but you refuse to hate yourself. I see. Wasn't it just, how long was I asleep for?
A week.
Wasn't it just a week ago that you were trying to murder me, thinking I was trying to become a filthy lich? With no precontention, just because he's like, oh, he's trying to extend his life. He must become a lich. Does this look like a lich to you? But for someone who does really, really dislike undead, you must absolutely hate yourself.
She looks at you, she smiles, and she walks away.
You're on the carriage.
I get out of the carriage and walk.
Thought it was a wagon.
I stick my head out.
It is a wheeled land vehicle.
I stick my head out and go, ah, so you do hate yourself, and put my head back in.
I just lean a little bit forward to you and go, you do know my debt's paid. If she tries to kill you, I ain't stopping her this time.
I actually...
Yes.
What?
Wouldn't you have disadvantage being the fact that it's a covered wagon?
me a
I'm
second.
aiming at Trent when he leans out.
He's
And I
techni-
start, like, trying to
he has-
antagonize it.
I'm gonna say at least half cover, which means you miss.
But I rolled an 8. Fuck's
And he
sake.
has half cover, which is plus.
But I did it when he stuck his head out.
Yeah, and a head is still half his torso covered.
Mallory looks and says, "That's a warning shot. The next one will hit you."
Should I fire a warning shot of my own?
Can I Denozo slap the back of your head?
Nothing's stopping you. Roll an attack roll.
I've do it with my bare hand. Just rolling the lance because that's the only melee attack I have.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure I hit.
Yeah, you slap him on the back of the head for 1 plus strength.
So 4 damage.
Doosh.
Don't start fights.
Well, actually, you don't even do damage because you're literally slapping on the back of the head.
I didn't start it. She literally fired a spell at me, and you expect me not to retaliate?
Be the bigger person.
He
I
already
really want to make a dwarf joke right now, but it's not exactly in character.
All you hear from the front
All you have to do
is sorry.
No, go.
All you hear from the front is he already is, literally.
Well, actually, no. Jess is taller, Trent's wider.
Fine then. Be the adult.
No, be the bigger person. Trent is, like, bigger in all dimensions. Not all dimensions, but most dimensions. Anyway.
I was going to say, if you want, I could be really sarcastic and say, act your age, not your shoe size.
I don't know what my shoe size would be.
Less than your age.
I don't know. I don't know how shoe size is done in D&D. Also, is this working? Ignore this, James.
Huh. Yes, that is working.
I thought it was thematically pleasing.
Yeah, it is.
So for that second part of that attack, do you want me to make a separate attack roll for that? Because technically it would be a d20 roll.
Yes.
Yeah. I just ignore Jess. And just grumble to myself.
Yep.
I also sit there and look at you and say, you also need to write a letter.
A letter?
2 that I know of.
To who?
I just stare at you.
I've been asleep for like a week. I'll prefer that.
Who's not here?
It's at this point you realize the hirelings are no longer here.
I stick my head out the front of the cart.
It's just Sister Jade driving out there, and that.
What happened to Raghack? Our sister.
You.
Same thing that happened to me.
And what happened to you?
You fell on him and then, technically you fell on that one pointing at Crystal and then exploded.
Nah, should have dodged. Sit down.
The other one is to your family.
Oh, they don't give a fuck.
Trust me, they really don't.
Most of my family's dead, so you know. It's not
That's why they don't give one.
Still, there's at least one letter you have to write.
So who?
To insert NPC names, family.
I don't think I do. I don't know where his family is. Yes, it would be sad I have to prepare my own cart and horses, but I'm sure I could hire someone else. It won't be a life debt type thing, but it'd be better than nothing. It seems in my quest for my own personal goals, I've lost both my companions. But that's okay. Companions can be brought, and I have plenty of time to make more life debts.
Yes.
So, are you staying around with us, or are you leaving?
For now, I want to see how just waving at your whole body this works out.
That's fair. Hey, I have a question to you, James, that I'll ask you on Discord really quickly.
Potato.
Ooh.
Yes. I just kind of sit back and quote unquote prepare my spells for the day. Because I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Which
it does not fit as well. Due to unbeknownst changes within your physiology, your armor does not sit as well.
So it's just really uncomfortable and heavy to wear.
Yeah.
Fair.
It's quiet ride back to town.
Yep. So
I mean, after I do my spells, I'll be this is uncomfortable and take my armor off and put it in my chest. I'm assuming didn't get destroyed. Hopefully, maybe.
no. It was only the back half of the wagon, like no actual.
Okay, all my stuff at the front, so it's fine.
Yeah, the cursed chest also
Did the
survived.
water barrel get destroyed?
No, that was at the front.
Awesome.
The steamer trunk that you hate was also there at the front, so it still exists.
Yep.
No, she also hits herself and she still exists, so you know.
3 to 4 days later, you pull in.
I'ma leave that one alone.
I was a bit slow, just.
3 to 4 days later, you pull back into town. Oh, the other thing you notice that Crix is missing as well.
Where'd that little bastard get to?
And like
You
I really
squashed
like,
him.
Did he have a family?
Didn't dodge. You hear from Mallory. If I can hear the conversation.
No, unfortunately you did. Mallory.
Whatever you say, Nikolai. She keeps walking.
So you get into town, then people can branch off to do what have you.
Avoid Nikolai.
Well, I would assume you'll break up because, like, to go do stuff because, like, most of you are probably going to want to go to different shops. And
So I have a small shopping
because
list.
you have been paid since the last time you were in town.
Yeah.
I have a small shopping list. I need black powder, lead, bullet casings.
Your gun supplies you can acquire from a local chapter house / guild organization, since technically you don't have to pay for them via a class feature.
Oh, neat.
Well, because you don't because you can make them at no cost, you can basically there's a guild hall or a church or something you have an affiliation with that then resupplies you.
Sweet.
What can I buy for 2,000 gold?
Oh, a lot of things.
What can I
That
buy
looks
for
better.
destroy Nikolai for 2,000 gold?
You
Oh,
like
what
to
is
do
it?
some
I
damage.
can make a minigun.
There's a minigun. 2,000 gold doesn't quite get you a light cannon. It gets you a lot of like alchemist fire explosives.
How much money do I have, though?
To be
Is
fair,
it basically what I fell asleep with, or...?
yes, you've not been paid
Okay.
since then.
43 gold.
The other thing is you have to remember Jess has a lot of money because Mallory actually has not spent much of the initial starting gold being a warlock.
Yeah, typical chest stuff, gotcha.
The only thing, Jess, is the minigun would require you and me putting money together to actually
She also
get.
doesn't have.
Mallory doesn't want your minigun.
She also doesn't
want
have
your guns.
proficiency in it.
Well, Sister Jade has proficiency in it.
James,
Yes.
is there a high-ish end armorer in town?
Probably.
I'd like to go there
Sure.
and take my old armor
Uh-huh.
and sell it because it is Mithril half-plate.
Yeah. Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion check it is. That's now a public roll. Persuasion.
18. You get like 70% value, so...
Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Breastplate's 200. I think I charged you like, what, 500 for the mithrilling or something?
Yeah, because I'll pretty much all my money.
So you'll get like 450 or something back.
450, I'll just take that, that's fine.
Yeah. Because it's ready-made armor, and like you rolled pretty well to, and because I believe you have mending, don't you?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, I know. I think it's Pete does. Someone,
Mikey.
Mikey is. I'm sure you probably would have got Crystal to like mend out any dings or anything, so it's basically going to be pristine condition.
Yeah.
Peter,
Yes.
Can I go to the tavern?
Sure.
the improvements you wanted to your weapon can come into effect now that we've made it back to a town.
Yay.
So what are you doing at the tavern?
Well, hang on, wait. Is there a job board?
All the jobs so far we have gotten are through Grook, the barkeep.
They've all been delivered via Grook from Billiam, yes.
So I'm gonna ask if he's got any further jobs for us.
Oh, nah, nothing's come in or late. It's only been 2 weeks since your last job.
I'm gonna look and say, well, we're back in town. Can I have a room for the night?
Yeah, not a problem. A
I
silver.
look and say we have less people, and basically say, unfortunately, due to accidents, we don't have Crick's not with us anymore, and
That was the that was the little skeleton fella, wasn't it?
yes,
Yeah, pity. He paid well.
and neither are the two people that we travel with, like
Oh, the quiet fellas. Yeah. Again, pity. They paid well.
yeah. What do you have cooking?
Tonight we have some rosemary and balsamic vinegar marinated pork roast over a bed of mixed vegetables consisting of wild potatoes, sweet potatoes, some roast celery, carrots, corn, some pumpkin, sided with a nice honeyed mull wine and a homemade Scotch shepherd's pie.
Mallory smiles and says, a serving of that, please. You always surprise me with how well you cook.
Coming right up. That'll be 2 copper. So that's 1 silver, 2 copper for your room and meal.
Yeah. She hands over 2 extra copper and says, keep it for yourself.
Not a problem. And he sort of wanders back over and brings you out this fairly generous serving of meat.
Mallory digs in.
So what's everyone else doing? Seeing as Jess has gone straight to the tavern and got in the room.
I would like to go to a jeweler's.
Sure! So Bailey's getting his stuff, Trent's going to a jeweler's. Pete, what are you doing?
I'm going to go to the local chapter house of the Monster Hunters. If there is one.
Roll an investigation check. There probably is one. Or you would know where to get into contact with them, at least. I'm going to say, because this is a relatively far out, there's no guild house here, but you're aware that they basically will have like a running ledger that's accessible in the general either the general post office or at the guardhouse.
I want to go check the guardhouse then, see if Ledger's there.
You arrive, and
As I do, I pull out my signet ring from the guild.
Yep. You arrive, you check the ledger. It'll take you a while to sift through like the active jobs and cross-reference some stuff. Trent, what are you doing in the jewelers?
One, I'd like to walk in, and then I'd like to...
The jeweler stops and looks at you.
Understandable. The kind of chuckle smile walk up to him. I'd like to pull out the pendant I've been carrying since the start of the campaign. Take it off, place it in front of him, and go, how much would it be to acquire a jewel, points to my head, and place it on here?
Star sapphires are kind of expensive, given the size of it. Depends on the quality and clarity of cut you want.
I'm not sure on the size, not sure on the clarity, but preferably, I mean, I'd like to pay top shelf, but I don't think I can afford that quite yet. How much would, on average, would it be?
Well, looking at what you've got here, you're in luck. They are kind of a local stone.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Probably take me about a week to source one. For this pendant, I'd say 100 gold. 150 if you want me to cut and polish.
I'll place 200 down in front of him.
Pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Same, I'll be in at a week to pick that up, yes?
Yes, it'll be about a week.
Yes. Cool. I would then like to, is there like a library or something here?
Yes.
This
is a decently far out town, but like it's not tiny village. There's no hunters guild here because those are generally restricted to the larger of large. But there is a library here, albeit it's not the biggest.
Yeah. Cool. I'd like to go to the library and find any resources that I can on the Star Mall.
Roll me a religion check.
Religion? That's alright.
Yeah, you get some decent information. Which I'll get to you between sessions.
Yep, that's fine. And after that, I'd just like to go back to the thing.
Yep. So Pete, you are sifting through the ledgers. There's a couple of jobs going. A lot of them are fairly ambiguous as to what they actually lean to. There's a few that you straight up put to side because you're like, wait, no, we can't deal with that. Because of your cursory knowledge of what creatures are, some of them immediately just scream to you that is death on a stick. For one example, there is reports of a dragon turtle terrorizing ships off the coast.
Do take a copy of that one.
Fair.
Don't forget, my secondary goal is to slay an elder dragon. So, yeah.
Fair.
It's 10 silver, isn't it?
Yes.
10 silver to a gold. And 10 and 10. Awesome.
I was gonna say I was just reading over what the background description I've got.
Yep.
Being the Guild Knight. Our main purpose, apart from hunting monsters, is also to hunt down and prosecute poachers, illegal hunters, murderers, and other wanted criminals. So anything along those that stands out.
Not that you can see in these things, because you are mostly looking at monsters that have been terrorizing the area. I am looking at things because I hadn't prepared for you to go here.
The other one would be any requests for materials.
This being effectively an outpost, a lot of the requests aren't really listed. There are reports of a largish bear not far from where you are that has been terrorizing some farmers.
Not again.
Up towards the mountains, there are reports of a gargoyle that has been attacking airships.
No.
Give me a second. I'm still reading through things.
Well, I suppose while that's going on, Sister Jade, once she acquires the missing ammo components, is going to go and then source materials for fixing the fucking wagon that got busted.
Yeah. And the last one is on the borders of where the plainsland and farmed trees meets the desert. There is reports of a T-Rex that has been attacking anything that even vaguely looks like civilization. It has rolled through small farming land. It has completely demolished some carts. It has just been a bit of a nightmare.
I take notes on those three as well as the dragon turtle and start looking for the others around town, I guess. Oh, actually, I will look for apothecary supplies.
You can probably find apothecary supplies fairly easily.
As I want to gather materials for potion making. Specifically
healing potions, did you say?
Yeah.
Roll me an investigation check to see how much in the way of potion materials you'll be able to find. Enough to make 8 healing potions.
At the standard gold cost?
Because it's a
Half gold cost because you're getting materials.
cards, and I've done.
So 8 of them for 200 gold.
Yep.
But it'll also take you a day per potion to make them. After that, you all sort of meet up at the tavern after a couple of hours.
It's true.
Jess, you have eaten. You've spoken to some of the locals, and then slowly the others peter in. Bailey first, having done the least shopping, then Peter, then Trent after about an hour. After an hour, because he has walked to multiple places and done some research.
It's true. I spent my entire day just doing stuff.
Where Raymond and Mikey have gone to various temples to pray for guidance, and then have arrived back and gone to bed because they were on the lookout for while you were traveling. So Raymond has gone to bed, and Mikey has stayed to pray for more guidance.
Cleric.
He's trying to get our questions answered.
What's time?
It's probably like 4 or 5 in the afternoon at this point.
When Nikolai walks in, Mallory's probably gonna get up, have a drink at the bar, put down like the money for a drink, and bid the barkeeper good night and head off to her room.
Yep. Leaving the other 4 of you to talk.
Yes.
The 3 of you.
Right.
So what did you do with your day?
I did my job, or one of them. Really need
Same.
to get to a proper town. Need to find out if I've decreased in rank or not. Anyway, I went to the local guards to ask a couple of questions. Found out some stuff's terrorizing the locals.
No? Anything
I
interesting?
figured since I'm no longer bound to this one, pointing at Nikolai, I should actually kind of get back to what I was built for.
I told you didn't have to follow me. From the start, it was your choice.
Yeah. Anyway,
But yes.
so apparently there's a couple of things terrorizing the area.
Oh?
I was going to say you can hear them now or wait till tomorrow when the rest of them are up.
Nah, I'll hear him now. I'll think on it through the night and give my opinion then.
Right. Well, apparently there's a oversized bear terrorizing some farms nearby. There's a T-Rex that's been sighted out near the borders between the desert and the farmlands, attacking anything that's artificial, manufactured, civilization. Or there's a gargoyle terrorizing airships in the mountain.
The mountains are by far the furthest away, as they are right the way across the area, effectively. They are
The ones on the border.
They are 4 to 5 weeks of travel away.
Would I know that?
Yes.
Okay.
You're all relatively aware of geography.
Basically, it goes bear, T-Rex, mountain for distance.
T-Rex and bear are about the same distance.
Well,
They're both within 3 to 4 days.
a bear is,
Then I have this one, which I just have my hand over the folded parchment.
what's that one?
This is a more personal one, but there's something terrorizing the coast.
Is it another Hydra?
That would be easy in comparison.
Yes, it was last time. Well, in my opinion, a bear sounds something below our pay grade. A T-Rex could be interesting. A gargoyle's the most interesting, but it's quite a trek. I'm not sure if
Yes,
the
I
others...
estimate it's about a 2-month round trip.
Yes, I don't know if the others would be more interested in that.
But you say the bear is beneath us. This is, how do the people put it? Goodwill?
So we're not getting paid for it, is what you're saying.
Oh, there's pay for it.
That is not exactly goodwill, is it?
It is still doing something that is you consider beneath you for a good cause.
I don't think anything's beneath me. I just think the payment's right. It's not beneath me. You should know this.
Coin.
Yes. Coin makes the world go round. Without coin, you can't afford to stay in a tavern, can't afford to eat, can't buy gear. Money makes the world go round.
Said McDonald's.
I almost said McDonald's. I didn't even know why it's in my head.
Can we just have a random restaurant chain called McDonald's
Fucking
now?
tempt me. I will make a chef character that is the builder of a company for McDonald's.
No, McDaniels.
McDaniels.
Referee. Oh.
Anyway,
But yes, the gargoyle could be interesting. from my... James, can I roll a nature check on, like, each of them to see if I know much about them before I spew stuff off?
About the creatures?
Yeah.
Roll me 3 nature checks. It's a bear.
It's all the GM for some reason, but it's a 15,
Yeah.
14, 23.
So the first one, under large bear, it's possibly a dire bear, unless it's something else. Hard to go on want the information. Gargoyles come in all ranges of sizes. They're elemental constructs. They can be as small as an imp. They can be as large as the statues at the front of a fort. It all depends. Again, not much in the way of information. T-Rex, there's a handful of varieties, but for the most part, they're generally pretty similar. Big, terrifying, mouthy creatures. Very, very bitey. Apex predators.
Yes, well, bears are... I mean, being a large bear, it's slightly interesting.
In chat for posterity.
Yeah. Being such a large bear, depending how large they're saying, was it a child that said the bear was large? Because if so, then it's a normal bear. If it was something like a Goliath, then it might be a slight issue that may be worth investigating.
Well, considering the fact this is through the registered guild, or at least a ledger, it has to be submitted by a person of confirmed interest in the application.
Okay.
So
Well, in
you
that
can't
case,
have a couple saying it's a big doggy. It has to be it's a wolf, it's a dire wolf, it's a
let me
whatever.
rephrase. If it was a gnome, it could be a normal-sized bear. You know. If it was a dwarf, it could be a normal-sized bear. Well, not heightest. But if it's, you know, a bit bigger, maybe worth an interest. Gargoyles are interesting to me. I've always liked the way they looked. Always curious how they were made as well. But it's quite far.
And say,
And-
James,
Mm-hmm.
a description of where the bear and the T-Rex are, how close are they to each other?
The bear is anywhere from,
Is one on the east town, one's on the west, or are they both?
They are both to the west.
Okay. So basically, we could go get the bear, get the T-Rex on our way to the gargoyle if we wanted.
In theory.
See, in my opinion, I'd be more interested in the T-Rex or the gargoyle. Bears, the bears. I fought a few bears when I was younger. They weren't that much of a challenge. Now, owlbears, they were a challenge.
It could be an owlbear.
Ah, but you said it was a bear. If it was a guild member, clearly they know the difference between a bear and an owlbear.
Well, before we even decide about what
It's
we're
an
going to
adult farmer that has reported it as a large bear.
Again, if they're from the area, they should know what a bear and an owlbear looks like, especially if they're native to the area. If they're not native, then it could have been an owlbear, but if it's not, the bears are pretty much everywhere, so it probably was a normal bear. If it was an owlbear, I'd be interested in going, because owlbears are cool.
Well, it doesn't matter what we decide to do. We're at
I was
least
going
stuck
to say, James, in
town
the
for
report
another
for the large
day.
bear. Oh, sorry, Bailey.
Doesn't matter what we decide to do. We're at least stuck in town for another day. I think it's at least
Yeah.
going to take me a day or two to fix the wagon.
I mean, it is my wagon, but I appreciate you fixing it.
Yes, that's a conversation you two need to have.
Yes, I never really paused, so you'll
Your
take
wagon.
stealing it, but you can fix it, it's fine.
I was going to say, a week to prepare and do other activities in town would be appreciated.
I mean, hey, I'm down to spend some time. I'll acquire new spells or make friends. I'm waiting for my own stuff to be done as well. They said it'd be about a week, so if we could wait for that to be done, I would appreciate that. In the meantime, I could find something to research. I know exactly what I'd research as well. More of this. Points at
Uh,
What was that?
Down low.
Yeah. However, in the interest of choosing a job, but giving my 2 cents in case I'm not here when you tell the others, my vote is for the T-Rex because I have never seen a T-Rex. I've only vaguely heard rumors of them. They sound horrifying, and I wish to fight one. Gargoyles are a particular interest of me.
Noted.
So I'm down for the gargoyle, but I think everyone else would rather just go closer than come back. Everyone seems to be attached to this town. I am more open to leaving this town, going to the mountains, than finding a new town to be attached to. But I guess that's the way I'm used to moving. But yeah, so how much damage did I do to the cart by any chance?
Most of the back end.
Would it not be easy just buying a new one?
No. Thanks to Crystal's assistance, we were able to fix a large amount, but there's still some final stuff that we actually weren't able to fix because it was just downright destroyed that I'm going to need to buy some materials and fix manually. So don't worry, it won't take me. It'll only take me a day or two anyway.
That's fair. If you need any assistance, let me know. It's my cart. I can pay you to fix it if you want.
No, I might just give you a bill again.
Yeah, that's fine. But if the bill seems too high, we'll have someone, a third party, look over it. You know that.
Oh, I know.
I don't splash my money around willy-nilly. No one knows that I spent $200 buying a gemstone today.
So if you're all going to take a week's downtime, I'm perfectly happy if you guys want to do that.
I mean, I'm fine to do it.
I mean, honestly, it probably helps because then it gives the others who actually aren't here tonight a chance to do some downtime and whatever they need to do while we're here in town anyway.
Will they be getting, like, at least the shopping day to next week? But yes. So on that, what do people wish to do for their week of downtime?
So that's 8 long rests, right?
Yes.
Ammunition!
You can do that as well as other downtime stuff. As that's done during during your long
Yes. That's just sort of like I just gotta look at 8 weeks worth of crafting of that.
8 days.
So 8 days. Handler.
Cool. I go solo hunt.
Sure.
40 pieces of normal ammunition.
Comes back next week. Peter's dead.
There is no chance for him to die doing the downtime activity.
No.
40, 80, 100?
Yes, Jess?
I wish to go to the library, research religious stuff
About
that's Star Mother.
That's a research.
Oh, hey, we're going to be chilling out together then.
That is a research objective. There is a money expenditure tied to that.
Okay.
The research downtime activity, it's the one that guarantees you lore tidbits, but does cost a little bit.
I also... What else can I do? I mean, I'm gonna spend some of my nights trying to talk to patrons.
Give me a second, I'm trying to find the downtime stuff.
And I guess I'll have a look around the town every now and again. Oh! That was loud in my ear.
Sorry, that was my phone that just went off. I didn't think it was that loud.
It wasn't for me.
Jess probably has her headset up louder than everyone.
And then,
research.
probably...
Okay, so...
I just thought I could go to the library and just read.
Well, you can. It won't necessarily guarantee you...
Concussion grenade, fang... God.
Because the research downtime...
Oh, here we are. Explosive.
Requires one work week of effort with at least 50 gold.
I can barely hear you.
It's 50 gold minimum. Every additional 50 gold is a +1 to your roll, up to a maximum of +6. And you make a base intelligence check. So you can do like a research. You can do a religion check, and you might get some information on that, or you can make a research check, which can get you up to 3 pieces of lore, depending on what you roll.
So, James, I have enough funds for a medium hunt.
Uh-huh. I'll get to that in a second.
I'm gonna do a religion check first.
You do one or the other. Because you're not rolling religion and then going, I want to do research because I rolled a 7. You pick at the beginning.
I don't want to give up my money.
Well, then just roll a religion check. And you'll get...
But then I won't get information.
Well, you potentially will. The thing with paying this 50 is it's getting you into, like, tracking down, like, potentially smoozing with, like, the church or finding private collectors or paying your way into getting access to limited books and stuff.
So an intelligence check, is it?
Intelligence check, and how much gold are you spending? Because that depends on your modifier.
I was only spending the initial 50.
So that is a +1 to that. So 22. You get 3 pieces of lore that I will get you during the week.
During my nights, I'm going to just basically try to contact my patrons.
Yeah. Well,
Just...
we'll deal with that during the week, whether or not anything comes of that.
Woo!
Peter, I need to go and look up the book for your
Also, I just want
downtime
to
activity.
go have a look around the town and see what they have for
While you
sale.
look for Peter's thing, I'm gonna go pee really quick.
Yeah.
Page 51.
Count Trent.
I can make a gnome rocket.
Okay.
Also, I'm allowed to make 40 regular pieces of ammunition, 20 pieces of special, or 2 explosives per long rest.
So you,
I'm
you
looking-
said you've got enough money to do a medium, didn't you?
Yeah, because I've got 100 gold. Well, technically, I've got 10 platinum, which is 100 gold.
Yeah, so you can do a CR3. DC for medium equals the creature's carve DC. Hard is carve DC 3. Carve DC is half of challenge rating rounded up, so that would be 12. I need 3 checks: Wisdom Perception, Intelligence Investigation, and the player's choice of Survival, Stealth, or Athletics.
Yep. He said perception first.
Perception first.
I've returned.
Yep.
And investigation.
Yep.
And then
Survival, Stealth, or Athletics. So that's 3 successes. Character earns 3 materials from the creature. Roll on the loot table for each material. Give me a second to go and look at the appropriate creatures for the area.
Well, it's 3 D20s, isn't it?
No, it'll depend on what creature you got. So give me a minute.
Carve rolls on a 20 table.
Yeah, but it also depends what creature you got, Peter. Because depending what you rolled, you might have gotten something that only has 4 results. Because yes, it's a CR3, but there are some smaller things that are CR3 that I have to check what is in the appropriate areas. I will tell you, because the other thing is some creatures have like a D12 roll instead, I believe.
Hmm. Do I go high power, rubber, shot shell, or tracer?
All of the above.
Come on, game. It would be nice if you had a, like, via area thing.
You know, I'm going to make 20 tracing rounds, because you never know when those would come in handy.
Just one of these things had, like, basically a biome thing.
But I think it's at the end of the monster manual.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but you know, I might have the wrong version of the monster manual downloaded.
Oh no, actually, it's not the monster manual that looks at it. Unless... Oh no, it is by environment. 198.
Yeah, I have the wrong version downloaded. Yeah, I got it.
Cool. It's actually 200 and 199.
Yeah. Cool. Like, according to these things, there is like one monster for you could have hunted, Peter, at the CR3. Given the biomes you're adjacent to, there's only one CR3. 1 to 2 CR3s. Because like there is no CR3 desert biome monster. Oh, the reason for that is because there's only 3 CR3s in the entire book.
Rip.
I was going to say, if someone could lend me 50 gold, I could go for the next level up. If that makes it easier.
No, I got something. I just have to actually... Page 11. Just have to go to the actual thing you hunted. Yeah, so roll me 3 d20s.
Wow, that's all low. 597.
597. A scale and 2 carapaces. So a scale, while slotted to armor, you take 3 less fire damage. While slotted to a weapon, you can make pink-colored marks that fade away after 24 hours. The carapace that you have 2 of, if slotted to armor, you gain 5 temporary hit points after a long rest. If you apply it to a weapon, the weapon cannot be detected by detect magic unless the caster is touching the weapon.
Okay.
And that's you got 2 carapaces and 1 scale from a Yayan to
Okay.
bird thing.
You mean the Ian?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the Ian.
yeah.
Yeah, the Ian Cuckoo. Well done.
So that was what Pete did for his downtime. Trent, you did research, yeah?
I was going to do more research on the.
Doing a basic religion
Some
check
of-
or spending money for an actual research task?
Oh, I'm spending money.
How much are you spending? You get a +1 per 50 gold spent.
How much do I
on an
have?
intelligence check.
I'll spend 150.
So +3 on top of whatever you roll.
And just intelligence or
Just
investigation
an
or.
intelligence.
Nah. Oh, God damn it.
With a +3, I still think even with that, you don't find anything.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Oh no, with a +3, you find 1 piece of lore. As you need,
Better than nothing.
As you need a 6.
Yay.
Cool. Can both Jess and Trent roll me a d20, please?
A D20. Ooh.
Okay.
To see if you have a complication.
Oh no.
I really hope that I do for that I run and roll. I probably don't.
Cool. Give me a moment.
Damn it. I still get my like 4 pieces of lore, don't I? Okay.
And no complications.
For me?
Either of you.
Oh,
No.
cool.
That is all of the downtime done. So you've had your week of downtime.
I wanted to look at shops. Have a
Shit,
look.
what am I gonna do for downtime?
Bailey, you've got downtime as well. So think of that.
Fuck.
You can do shopping. We can do that during the week if you can't think of anything right.
Yeah, I suppose it's just general looking, so yeah. Is there anything shiny?
1, you're not the crow character. 2, yes, there's a jeweler in town. Bailey.
Is there a
Forgive me, James. I might still need another moment. I'm sitting here going through and adding all the extra random things I've gone and made just through the long rests. Because a lot of them have attacks.
Is there a Valtaxian temple here?
Yes.
I would like to go look at that.
You come across Mikey and Raymond.
Of course I do.
Until I'm told otherwise, they will count as having been doing religious service for the week.
Oh, I need to buy incense sticks. I don't think I have any.
You get those
For
from
religion.
the church or the general store?
I asked the church. The Valtaxian church.
How much incense are you looking to get?
I mean, I don't... Probably just like a small... Do they come in a pack of X many or something?
Getting like a small, like effectively prayer kit will only be a gold, like 2 gold, for like a dozen sticks or something.
I do that.
The church asks you because some rituals require a certain amount of incense worth in gold or special incense. Because you're just after basic incense, they can give you like a dozen sticks for a gold or something.
I'll probably buy... I'll buy 2 dozen sticks for the
Yep.
2 gold, did you say?
Yeah. Like basic incense is like a silver a stick or a dozen for 10.
And I hand him an extra gold. I put an extra gold in the donation box or something.
Yep, you can do that. Any idea on downtime now, Bailey?
Can you add it to my sheet? Because It's not working for me. Sorry.
Still no idea on downtime. Sorry.
Okay, well, you are who we are waiting on then.
James.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
So while Bailey's working his stuff out, just as a general future reference question, would you let a wizard, also known as me, make a spell from scratch?
Depends on the spell,
For-
but possibly it'll take some time.
I mean, yeah, for downtime activities, like slowly working and researching on how a spell that would work and then making it, etc.
Yeah.
Cool. I have no idea how to do that, I just thought I'd ask you, so you know I'm interested, so you can look it up.
Yeah, no, we will look into that.
You know what? Week of downtime. Sister Jade is just gonna do what Sister Jade does, which is help out with her order.
Fair. You do a basic work activity then. So roll me an intelligence check with one of your tools, or a athletics or acrobatics check. If an 11, you make like 5 gold. You make modest lifestyle.
Mm.
Oh, throughout the week, whenever Nikolai kind of joins the party, like joins at tea time, Mallory has made sure she's on the opposite side of the table or at a different table.
You do know we're also spending the whole week together in the library, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of avoiding you as much as she can.
I pay you literally no mind. I just go past you, sit down near you, whatever. I don't care. We're friends, aren't we, Jess?
You said you were gonna research her. She's avoiding you.
How do you know I'm not already doing it?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You didn't know what I missed, James, earlier. I'm doing research, aren't I?
Busy.
I'm trying not to start party conflict, James.
Yeah, well, you'll find out when I research eventually.
Mallory is avoiding Nikolai as much as she can.
Uh-huh.
And if he sits next to her, she gets up and moves to, like, the other side of the room.
No, I never sit next to you, Jess. I sit on the table, but the other side of it, just kind of smugly researching because I know what I'm doing. And I keep asking if you need some help.
I keep ignoring you.
I will say, do you need some help from the person who rolled a 5 to the person who rolled a 21?
Hey, I don't know. Maybe that's why I rolled a 5. I was too busy, like, annoying Jess.
The irony is just not lost that the person who rolled a nat 1
No.
is attempting to help and coach the person who rolled a nat 20.
Yes, I am aware of the irony.
So at the end of the week, all of your downtime is up.
Up to D4 bludgeoning.
Mikey and Raymond will do theirs next week.
Mhm.
Does the party have any other preparations they wish to do before leaving town? / what are you doing? Are you looking for other work? Are you going to go hunt one of those things? Outside of Trent, I believe, none of the other party members have actually been told of the jobs.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that knows.
I said the next morning I was telling everyone else.
Fair. So everyone has been briefed on them.
I mean, Mallory asks every time she comes in, well, not every time, but once a day if there's any word from Billiam.
Fucking hellblock.
From the tavern owner.
No, there is no information from William. William did say it would be a while before he was in touch again.
She proceeds to ask the tavern owner's opinion on which job.
Now that's a bit of a tough one, not knowing what them their jobs are doing. Bear's always easy money by the sounds of it. If it's messing up the farmers, they're always happy to pay a little bit. T-Rex is a little bit out of my field of expertise. That's a big bitey lizard.
She smiles and says it certainly is.
And a gargoyle. It's one of them rock beasts up on the mountains. It's a bit far to the nearest mountains.
Thank you for your expert information.
I would say, out of a personal opinion, if the T-Rex is doing what your friend says it does, where it attacks the convoys and stuff, I'd have a personal stake in that, as it may attack some of my ale deliveries in the coming weeks.
She looks and says, so if we take out this big bitey lizard, the T-Rex, and it is attacking your convoys,
I didn't put the job out there. You're not getting any money from me.
a free drink on the house?
If you come back and you bring me a fang, I'll give you a drink.
Smiles and says, sounds like a deal. Mallory, after talking to the barkeep, says, the big bitey lizard. T-Rex sounds like fun. Or the bear.
Uh-huh. So you've said that to the others.
Yep. She turns and looks at Skip and says, what's your opinion? Bitey lizard?
Bailey can do that during a long rest. Like, that's barely even a check.
I read there's a leather thong.
So did I. I'm like perplexed. Like, why would you be asking your sister to make you a thong?
Oh, I should make that a barbarian.
Hydra tooth thong on a female barbarian.
Just a barbarian. Don't you hear about the genre?
The genre of barbarian.
Is that just enough, type?
Something like that.
Big.
So yeah, my
I can't really
vote's
do
the
much till you
bitey
guys
lizard.
pick what you're doing.
I vote bitey lizard.
I say bear, then by lizard, then back.
I say gargoyle.
Give no shits. Give no shits. But meh.
My personal stake goes from gargoyle, T-Rex, bear.
Random side question, James.
Uh-huh.
Swinging around a flare, would you count that as an improvised weapon or an actual weapon?
A flail?
Flare.
Improvised weapon. Counts as a torch. 1d4 fire damage.
It's actually it's a D6 in this case, but
D6.
just wondering whether I got proficiency for it or not.
No, I would classify as an improvised weapon.
Cool. What about dynamite?
Also an improvised weapon. Although dynamite is generally a DC save, so it's less of an issue.
Main reason I was just checking is adding proficiency bonus to it or not.
A dynamite normally has like a DC save on the explosion.
Oh yeah, it does have a DC save, but it has a thwacker bitch for a D4 if you hit him with it.
Yeah, then that's an improvised weapon, because a stick of dynamite is not a melee weapon.
Although it's a thwacker bitch if you throw it at them and hit them.
I was confused everyone who's not in the session with that. So when you said fire and a flare, that's what I immediately thought of.
What did you do?
He's put a
Just
gif.
good.
He's put a gif of Jurassic Park flare to the T-Rex.
It's not the exact
Yeah.
gift I wanted, but it's the first one I found.
I'm gonna get a message.
You never know when you can actually get a thing in the eye with a flare.
I'm gonna get a message from Mikey tomorrow. Are we fighting a T-Rex?
Probably.
I mean, he wouldn't be wrong.
I
with the way the
vote
pie's-
T-Rex.
As I said,
Okay.
bear then T-Rex is my vote.
Yeah, I don't care too much for the bear. I want the bitey lizard.
People, we are a newly established group. Earn the favor of the locals.
But we're not going to be staying here for too much longer. What's the point? We're adventurers. We're not meant to
travels.
settle down and defend one place.
Word does
Reputation.
travel, but you also forget to think about this. You've been traveling with me for a last little while. You both have. Everything we did in that time has also earned our reputation. Now, I understand that you're probably uncomfortable with that knowledge. However, that's how it works. We have all of our previous deeds to fall back for reputation. Doing
Exactly,
one
we're trying
bear-
to fix that fucker.
Yeah, but killing one bear is not going to change anything. You want to get a massive reputation, we should go hunt a dragon.
You say killing one bear won't help. Killing a random bear in the woods, no. Killing a bear that's terrorizing local farms, yes.
Yes, but you've got to think with this way as well. You go to the local farms. The local farmers will appreciate you and may even think you are godlike. You killed a bear, something that not even their mightiest, 16-year-old couldn't do. Meanwhile, and people in the city are going to be like, you killed a bear in the sticks, congratulations. How does that help us in the long run?
Donate the food.
Also, doing research and just general history of, my long life, I once heard of a family of people who killed a bear that was terrorizing them. It turned out to be a forest guardian. Do you want this to end up the same?
Did you really just go there?
I make a Lubac cannon, fuck you!
James, does he take meta knowledge damage?
I mean, he hasn't referenced the character. He's referenced a possible series of events.
Oh.
Did he really just go there?
And with such creatures existing, you have to think. Yes, the guilds have put a thing on it, but what does the guild really know about these creatures? I know nothing of these creatures. I see a bear, I go fireball, bear dies, and I get cursed.
The whole point of going there is to research it. See if it is a threat. If so, remove it.
You say
I'll
that.
get a bigger
You
gun.
want to take her?
Mallory looks and says, Mallory looks at Nikolai and
But more than you.
Mallory addresses Nikolai and says, Nikolai, what do you think about going and killing the T-Rex?
Question.
I never said I want to kill the T-Rex. I said I was interested in it.
How much bigger than us is this bear supposed to be?
It is large bear. Very little information.
I might need a bigger gun.
Doesn't that sound like more fun than killing a bear?
No, the gargoyle sounds
Same
most interesting, but
fucking
no one...
direction.
The gargoyle sounds more fun, but no one's going to go that far. Because everyone just gets too comfortable in the one town. No one likes to move on and see what else the world shows, but we get
Well,
stuck
I
in
don't
this...
know about you lot, but I wouldn't mind start working my way home from here.
Where's your home?
Same
No, I
place
mean,
as
no,
ours.
Yeah, no, ignore that. I just remembered. See, I'd rather go anywhere but there, to be honest. But that's my own personal reason.
Well,
See, I need to
forgive me,
make
but
my
I
way
still have
to.
a lover there, darling.
I need to
Oh,
make
well, why
my
don't you
way
bring
to
her
our
along?
capital.
It's a tad hard to bring them along from this distance.
Yes.
I'm sure we can find a wizard that can teleport to that.
Right. I was going to say, the bear and the T-Rex are on the same way. If we go that way, we've got to go past them to go to the gargoyle if we do, or even if we're going to head towards the capital. Either way, need to go past them.
I just want to be smart about it anyway. If we are going to go have a look at them or research them, I want to find somebody who has a bit more knowledge of nature stuff than I do. You know,
I
one of
just
those rangers or
can't
druids,
stare at you.
just to make sure we're not going to kill some forest deity.
I just
Question.
deadpan stare at you.
James,
Yeah.
I know we're in Black Crystal Bay, but we actually in a bay near the water.
Yeah.
Sister Jade's just gonna get up and start walking to the caravan. Like, fuck this! I'm going fishing for a while. Tell me when you sort this out.
With Trent's Nikolai's mention of droid sort of person, Mallory gets up and goes over to the barkeep and says, "Hey, do you know anyone who does the nature stuff?"
Yes, because we're going to take them on the whole trip.
Hi, it's not like you have someone with a maxed out nature in the group.
One of them.
I don't know that.
One of them, they're nature-y types.
Yeah.
Can't say I do. We get some other travelers through here and there. There's bound to be a couple around. Why? What you looking for?
We're debating whether or not we go deal with the bear, and that one and points to Nikolai is worried that it could be some forest beast that's important and blah.
I mean, to be fair, with the shamanistic tribes around here, for the most part, I wouldn't be surprised if either it or the T-Rex are shamanistic totem beasts, given the fact they are substantially larger or in areas they're not normally supposed to be. Not from my tribe, at least, but to be fair, depending on who you speak to about shamanistic tribes, anything from a rock to a person to any form of beast could be a shamanistic spirit animal. Depends who you speak to. Once knew a fellow who swore by a keg of ale. Not quite sure he has the same kind of spiritual connection you'd expect, but...
Well, do you know where I could find one of those nature-y types?
You'd have to ask around, maybe go out and look near the woods. Yeah. Yeah, there might be one or two round. I've not seen any in my tavern for the last while. I mostly deal with traveling merchants.
She smiles and says, "Thank you so much for your information." And she gets up, she looks at the others and says, "I'm gonna go find a nature-y type. Going towards the woods."
Like how you've just ignored Peter.
I just you could ask as she goes past. And it's like, oh, hey, whatever. She's got her mind.
So, the sister's gone fishing. Mallory's decided to go find a nature person in the woods. What are you going to do now?
It's been a week since I checked on the jeweler. I'm going to go pick up my necklace.
I'm going to go find Sister. I have another question to ask her.
Alright. Also, what's your take on the whole spirit animal stuff potential?
Who, me?
Yes, you. I'm asking you. You said you did nature stuff. My memory's a little foggy after sleeping for a week.
James, can I roll a nature check or something to see?
It's a religion check.
A religion check.
Because
21.
Because while they're animals, these are religion-y things. They could be. You're one, not the most knowledgeable of characters. 2, not the most knowledgeable about native tribes. 3, not an orc.
Yeah, true. I say,
or anybody who is natively from these lands.
Yeah. I go to train.
You are the very opposite of a shaman.
Hey, only for another 2 more levels.
Yes, because giant metal dinosaur screams shaman.
Hey, I'm literally going into Totem Barbarian in 2 levels.
Totem Barbarian and Shaman, still different things.
Yes. I put to Trent, I would have to see the bear to know if it's a spiritual bear. But from the reports, it's causing havoc and needs to be dealt with, either put down or moved on.
Now, here's the other thing. Are you sure you want to take Mallory there? You sure she's not going to see it and immediately shoot it?
Does
I'm
Mallory
less
From
worried
home.
about Mallory shooting it and more worried about you trying to fireball it.
Why would I use Fireball on it? I have way more dangerous
It's
spells.
you.
Yeah. And I've only been hostile to those who've been hostile towards me. A bear will not be innately hostile to me unless it's near its young or terrorizing me. And if it's already terrorizing me, it's already set it as a threat. If we go there and we find a sleeping bear in a field, I'm not going to attack it. I'm not some savage. I have morals.
Uh-huh. Anyway,
what's that
I'm
meant
going to
to
go
mean?
find Sister. We'll talk in the morning. Hey, Sister, when I catch up to you at the docks or whatever, if I pay you a gold, can you attach something to my cloak?
And what would something be exactly?
I literally want you to socket one of the carapaces to my cloak. Since I don't have armor, I have fancy clothes. So like my overcoat sort of thing, I want it basically shoulder pads out of the carapace, socketing. I will pay you a gold.
Well, when exactly is it you're expecting me to try and do this? Can't you see I'm a tad busy?
I don't know, when you have time.
Okay. I suppose.
I could take over fishing for you. Well, I could even join you fishing. But for now, it seems to... The discussion seems to come to an impasse. The small black one, Mallory, has gone off looking for a druid, ranger. She called them nature people. And Nikolai has gone... I do believe he said to the jewelers?
I wonder if he's trying to sell a part of himself.
I don't know. Maybe he's going to get a tattoo carved in himself.
That's a way better
I
idea.
suppose, technically, yeah, you would need a jeweler's to do that in this case.
I never considered that. That makes sense, though.
Going to point out from someone who knows what about GemK, you do not want to be cutting like a design into it. All you're making is fault lines. You're gonna carve it into the tattoo and go, look at this. Then someone's gonna hit it with a hammer and your arm's gonna explode.
Hilarious.
Because I never said it was good.
Because all you're doing is look at these new fault lines. There is a reason why, like, when you're splitting rock and stuff, you focus on the cracks.
Yeah. So
Do I have to roll
yes,
anything while fishing?
And no, there is no like there is no technology / wizard capable of laser engraving like floating 3D tattoos in your crystal body.
That's I was never considering getting tattoos.
I just pointed it out before Trent
Just
goes,
get him a bunch of paintbrushes. Problem solved.
yeah. So Trent, going to your character, you can collect your newly embedded necklace. It has a almost perfect star sapphire in it. It's a little bit small, and there's a few. It's a little bit cloudy. It's not the best quality, but it's sufficient. And you would imagine to get a perfect fit with like a better quality you're getting to the realm of like either of those two things getting exponentially more expensive.
Yes.
Like you can look at it and you know from looking at it and examining it from a while like that it's mostly a good front carving. Like it's very rough on the back because you can see inclusions when looking through the gem. To get a perfectly clear, precisely cut would quintuple or more the price.
You do some fine work, man.
Why-
Especially for the price.
why,
It's better than I expected.
Why, thank you. It's not the best quality gem. It's what I could source. I do hope it meets your likings. For what it is, I could secure it. Had you wanted something more something different, like a floating pendant or something, it would have ended up costing more just due to the nature of the craft.
No, I'm not going to use the materials I already had around, and I'm not versed in jewel making, so I thought I'd come to a professional and ask. That's what I did, and it worked out fine. This is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. Not the most perfect quality, but I didn't pay for perfect quality.
Yeah, so
Can't afford perfect quality.
getting what would have been a perfect fit with that would have been nigh impossible without having to spend months hunting for the appropriate gem.
Yes, that might come in the future, depending. Or if I find one of my travels, yeah. But yes. Tell me, I never asked last time I was in here. What do you think of my skin?
It's a very interesting shade. I was going to ask, but I know better than to pry into the lives of adventurers. I can tell from your build, laddie, that you are a dwarf.
Originally.
I would say you still are, just
I
with
mean,
some
same.
modifications. I'm unsure as to whether or not what manner of ritual or reincarnation you've been through. I remember stories of the old dwarven earth warriors who would take upon jewels and the very earth to themselves to enhance their battle capabilities. I hear word of these, what do they call themselves? Ganassi, element folk. Some of them having stone-like qualities. There's also
Yes, I've met Ganassi. They are far and few between of how gem they're like they are. Can't say I've seen one quite to my standards, but I don't think many people have seen one of my standards.
No, you are quite the oddity.
I have a question for you, and it might come out quite strange, but it's a unique experiment. Could you grade me?
I could certainly try.
At least to the best of your abilities.
That will take up the rest of your afternoon.
That is fine. I have nothing else planned.
So we'll come back to the others, because that's a whole thing.
Basically, I'm going to sit down next to the sister and go fishing as well for the rest of the day.
Both of you make survival checks. Jess, what are you doing?
Going to go towards the woods to see if I can find
Investigation check.
a nature person.
Ypsilon, you don't really have much luck fishing.
Nope.
At least Sister Jade actually has the fishing tackle for this. I don't know about him.
Yes, you get a couple of small fish. Nothing super amazing.
Basically, you see me trying to poke them with my lance when they come close.
And Sister Jade shuffles up the beach like 50 feet and then tosses a line in.
Yeah. Traveling into the forest, you come across a small campsite. It's a rustic tent, a extinguished fire, and some small logs set into a campsite. You can tell that there's someone currently here because there are rucksacks and stuff, but they're currently away from camp.
I mean, I might. Guess I'm gonna wait. I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to touch anything at all. Just kind of gonna wait for them to show back up.
After a couple of hours, sauntering back in. Hello, who are you? Standing before you is it's a Triton.
I have no idea what that is.
Fish people.
Yeah, fish person for the most part.
Well, orca whale looking like person.
Oh, reverse mermaid.
Yeah.
That's more merfolk. But yeah, continue.
He's saying that he's in mostly blues. He's carrying with him a rabbit that has wrung its neck.
I look and say, "Hi. I didn't touch any of your stuff. My name's Mallory.
I can tell that. Just
My name's Mallory. Are you like a nature person?"
I know my way around the woods. If that's...
Do you know much about shamanistic animals? You kind of like just...
I would say I am one with the spirits to an extent.
I look and I say, "Is there anywhere to like sit, or like is there like
There's logs set up around the extinguished fire.
Okay, so Mallory kind of says, "Do you mind if I take a seat?"
Go right ahead.
She looks and says, "So, my adventuring party and I have a couple of jobs. One's like a gargoyle, one's
You are
a
looking into the bear and the T-Rex nearby.
yeah, and the gargoyle.
Yes.
None of us at the
You're
one-
wondering if either the bear or the T-Rex are spirit creatures, and your friends are currently concerned about potentially disrupting the natural order.
well, one of them is. I mean, a bear's a bear, right?"
Not always.
She sighs and
Not
says,
everything is as it seems, as I'm quite sure you hold many secrets.
she looks and says, "No, never." She looks and says, "What's your opinion on it?"
Caution is always advised.
Do you think they would be shamanistic animals? Could you...
I would have to see them.
Oh, okay, cool. She looks and says, "You wouldn't be interested in coming along. I'm assuming you would want to be paid."
I would... I'm planning on moving on from here soon. If I was requested to participate in any brawls, then I would appreciate some compensation, but I do need to move on to some new hunting grounds soon, regardless, and would not say no to some traveling companions.
She looks and says, I don't have an issue with that, but I will say we're
Yes, you're
Not
an,
the
you're an eccentric group of exotic individuals.
yeah, I say that, and I say, and sometimes we don't always get along the greatest.
Yes, considering the fact that several of your party members tried to kill each other in the last couple of days.
She looks and says, "How do you know that?"
As I said, I'm one with the spirits.
She gets up and looks at him and says, "What do these spirits tell you about me then?"
Oh, they don't actively tell me things about people. I just hear things in the wind sometimes. Also, to be fair, your group was kind of arguing when they came into town last week.
Yes, Jess.
And when your particularly blue dwarf friend screams for what I'm guessing to be the umpteenth time, "I didn't mean it, fuck off," and then stormed off into another and then you split up into other parts of the city, it's kind of evident that things happened. That and the fact that, from what I've heard, you left with 9 and came back with 6. Or 8 and 5, or whatever the math works out to be.
She looks and says, "Yeah, Volcano happened to be involved in that."
Interesting.
So, could I buy you a drink at the pub and you could meet the rest of the group and decide if you want to come with?
Certainly.
To make sure we don't kill one of those special animals.
I mean, I'm
She
happy
says
to assist.
She says exasperated, and she kind of just says, "Are you ready to go now, or do you need time?"
I will meet you at the tavern in about an hour's time. I need to have lunch and then I will pack up camp.
She looks at this. What's your name?
Give me a minute.
Yay, we adopted someone else.
We didn't. This time it's all on Jess.
I wonder how long they'll last before they get killed by a freak accident.
Well, the other thing is also, Jess has agreed to compensate them. None of us have.
Yeah, that's fine. He said if he got in a brawl, though, I mean, he doesn't have to fight.
Wonder if I can sell this second carapace.
I mean, possibly. That's on James.
Yeah, how much I'd actually get for it, that's another question.
My name is Cagrador.
Cagrador?
Cagrador.
Okay. So, I have you muted so I don't get the reverb of myself, but it makes it harder to hear you when there's any noise through the headphones.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mallory looks and says, "Well, I will meet you there. Thank you for your information. I don't think we'll expect you to fight, but I'm happy to compensate you, I guess, if you fight.
We will discuss it if the need arises."
Enjoy your lunch." And she walks off.
I will.
She kind of looks back over her shoulder sussly because she doesn't like the fact that he, like, the wind's telling things. Goes back to the bar at tavern. Is anyone there?
Well, Pete and Bailey are fishing.
I'm being inspected.
You're alone for an hour or two.
I sit at the bar and I don't know. I talk to the barkeeper and maybe ask if he needs a hand with anything.
He doesn't. You're there during like lunchtime. It's still a slow hour. He's mostly just got stuff slow cooking for the evening. An hour and a half, 2 hours later, Cagrador comes in. I'm assuming Trent probably comes in not long after. Trent, you were graded as mid to high quality, decent clarity, like very little cut, as you don't have a lot in the way of like physical fortitude or anything.
If he dies, we can cut him up and sell him and make a good chunk of money
before your transformation. So you don't have like the best form.
Yeah.
But you also are aware like this transformation was fairly recent. Like you don't know how it goes. Also, you're somewhat aware of your dwarven heritage that a lot of clarity from gems comes from heat treating. So if you are an uncut natural gem, you have yet to be, for lack of a better term, tempered.
Look, time to fight a dragon.
Yeah. Between the three of you, over the next couple of hours, you arrive back, and as you slowly filter in, Jess is sitting there talking to Cagrador.
I offer to buy him a drink.
He happily obliges and is just sipping on a light ale.
I just sit there and talk to him about I ask general things like if he has family, what his day was like, what he normally does, and that sort of thing.
I mostly hunt. I have a large family. I'm estranged though.
That's kind of sad.
Travel. I don't really have much of a home. Oh, it's not a healthy home environment.
Oh, so maybe it's for the best.
It is. My parents were controlling would be an understatement.
Oh. I have a large family. It's complicated. And she smiles.
It's around this point that the rest of you start filtering in.
I've seen you hired.
As you step
Sorry.
in, he just, as you say that, he just turns. Ah, Nikolai, it's nice to meet you. Interesting to look at.
Yes, I have recently acquired much beauty, depends if you ask, I guess. But yes, I'm not quite used to the stairs yet.
I look and say, Nikolai, this is Kagrador. He's one of them nature folk.
Ah, yes, the nature folk that I got you to go get for me. Thank you.
I look and say, I got on my own free will.
And that's what you think.
That
Again, let me say, you were just going to go and kill the bear and the T-Rex and never do a second thought to it. But yet, as soon as I brought up the fact that it could be something, mystical that I don't understand, and we should probably ask someone more well-versed in nature, and then you got the idea to go and hire someone more well-versed in nature, yes, of course it was your own free will. Nice meeting you, Carador.
Kagrador.
That's what I said.
It's gonna take a while for the name to sing it. It's fine.
Mallory
Nice to meet you as well.
Mallory glares at Nikolai and looks at Kagrador and says, and that's part of the reason we don't get along.
I mean, you're both being equally abrasive.
She started it. She actually cast a spell at me the other day when I just said that, she's lying to herself. I wasn't even being mean. And she turns around and casts a spell at me.
Mallory gets up and walks away.
She doesn't handle criticism well.
And knowing this, you continue to antagonize them.
That's fine. Plus, she also tried to kill me like twice. Also the whole... No, I don't know how much you know of the party, but yeah, she's the reason I kind of ended up like this in some ways, I guess. But her and two of her other companions all tried to murder me in one hallway. I didn't even do anything wrong. I was just looking. But no, that's the cause for death. So yes, I'm a little abrasive to her. I've made my dues with the other ones, that's fine. It's just her. She's not very receptive to other people's opinions. Even when I try to be nice and polite, she, goes off on her own tangent, immediately gets aggressive, and disputes everything that is said, even if she doesn't quite understand what she's talking about. But I'm sure you also know people like that.
Oh, many. I'm just going to say, have you ever stopped to think that maybe you're not the only one who has been criticized and victimized? Having a look at your friend, they're more used to sticking out than you are. Maybe they're defensive for a reason. Just a thought to chew on.
No, that's a fair point. She never told me her name for like 7 months of knowing her. Not even a fake name. It was literally, I had to call her girl.
And I'm quite sure there's things that you've withheld from people for a decent amount of time. Not everyone is as forthcoming as some people. Everyone has their secrets.
I mean, I don't hide a lot from people. There is a few things I could tell you if you want.
Oh, I'm not pressed.
No, we'll say this right now. Your choice. Do you wish to know one of my darker secrets?
Information is always a valuable asset.
I hired one of my traveling companions to kill my wife and child. Allegedly.
Of course, allegedly. One would never admit to hiring a skilled killer to commit a crime in one of these sovereign kingdoms.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess it kind of comes down to the whole aspect. No matter who you ask, no one will believe you. No one will even believe me. Everyone just thinks I'm joking eventually.
Oh, well, see, I know you were not joking.
Ah, that's fair. Why, are you a cop or something?
There is a steadiness to you in how you speak.
Yes.
I can feel it within you that you are being honest with me, at least to a point.
It's not very often I actually need to lie to anybody. If you use your words carefully enough, you never need to lie. You can just withhold certain tidbits of information from people. Saying that, though, I have lied before. I mean, everybody has. It'd be folly to say otherwise.
It would. Everyone has lied, even if it is just a lie of omission.
Yes. So what's your story, Caragor?
Left an abusive family.
You could say the same.
Ostracized by my very people.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, more or less. I'm currently trying to adapt to living without a portion of myself that has been there my entire life. And sort of learning who I am without it.
Did you sell your soul?
I am no warlock.
Interesting.
Selling one's soul is... You don't adapt to losing your soul.
No, it's also a cheap way of getting magic and power.
It's not a feeling of loss that one experiences. No, mine is something different. Something some would consider more grand. An exalted loss. Others would see it as a curse, or a curse to have what I had. A blessing to be free of it.
Were you immortal?
No.
Did you age?
Yes, who doesn't?
At this point, I walk in the door as well.
Augmented souls, non-including.
Well, what would you say if they don't age, but their soul wasn't augmented?
Well, by augmented soul, I meant soul as in a person, not soul as in the spiritual manifestation of oneself. I was referring to you have physically augmented yourself and counting you as a soul as in a person.
Ah.
The common tongue is a little bit tricky, and I'm still adapting to it. It's not my first language.
What is your first language?
Undercommon.
No, I don't know that one, I'm sorry.
So it has some similarities, but some words are also used ever so slightly differly.
Yes, I quite understand. It is hard to adapt if it's not your first language. For me, it's also my second. My first being Dwarvish. My second being Common. My third being Abyssal.
I see your friend. I believe this one is Epsilon has arrived.
Ah, yes.
As I walk over and hear my name, it's like, have we met before?
No.
It's unusual for people to know my name before I see them.
You were talking about reputation, were you not, literally a few hours ago? Maybe
Yes,
your
my reputation is several hundred years old.
Now your reputation, I guess in your eyes, has been tainted by traveling with me, hasn't it not?
Yes.
I told you never were forced to come with me. That was my family's ideal, not my wish.
Yes. But unfortunately, a debt was a debt.
I wouldn't care if you left. I would.
Care to introduce your new friend?
Oh yes, this is Carador. Carador, this is Epsilon, as you already know. He used to have a life debt to help protect me, but then when I became like this, it apparently finished. I don't really care, but I tried to make him free it years ago, but he just wouldn't.
People's honor and what they feel bound to is different from person to person.
Yes, and I would have been a
Life
fool
debts-
not to at least accept it.
Life debts are a whole thing.
No, my family put him in the life debt. It was never my intention.
I would love to pick your mind sometime, Epsilon, about your stance on life debts and honor and the like.
When we have the time.
Well, he's coming with us to the bear.
Carador, was it? Or what? How do I pronounce your name?
Cagrador.
Cagrador. Okay. I just side-eyed Nikolai. What brings you to our table, I guess?
I was hired by Mallory, I believe, but their name is, to help you investigate these hunts you're going on to make sure none of them are spirit creatures. They interrupted me during my lunch in the woods.
I can imagine she's very abrupt at times and very flaky at others, but that's them.
While abrupt, I've been treated worse. I was apprehensive at first, because when someone shows up in your camp uninvited, you expect the worst.
Yes.
To be meeting with
With Mallory, it could have gone either way, to be honest.
To be meeting with a cordial conversation. Well, there was no ill intent. I knew that upon sight. Much like I'm aware there is no ill intent at the moment.
Yes. So you say you are here to help with these animals and identify if they are of a significance in the area. If it is not of a breach of courtesy, can I ask what your profession is?
I don't really have one. I'm a bit of a wanderer. I travel, I hunt, I trade in skins. I survive. I've only been out in the world less than a year.
Oh.
Before that, I was at home, living under the thumb of my parents.
Unfortunately, I cannot sympathize with this, as my life is unique even amongst those I know. But to each their own.
Yes. Each life is different. They all have events that change them. And everyone undergoes a metamorphosis of sorts at several points in their lives.
Some more literal.
Yes. Some more literal than others. Some not, well, I would say that some not at all, but everyone changes at some point or another. Even if that is just a simple change in state, as one would put it.
Well, welcome to the group, I'm guessing.
It would appear that way.
So I'm also guessing, since you're joining for about both the bear and the T-Rex, that's our next destination.
I've not been told. I was just asked to come. Well, I'm travelling out that way regardless, and was asked if I would mind tagging along just in case.
To be fair, we still have our other companions who haven't really spoken up about what they want to do yet. I think they're thinking about it and taking quite a while.
They're highly religious.
Yes, well, they are weighing their options. I believe one of them, at least one of them, is also having a minor crisis, from what I have heard.
He appeared that way. Well, they appeared that way, I should say. Anyway, nice to meet you. I shall be back in a moment. I go over to the bar.
Yep.
What time is it?
11:23.
No, like in.
Like
Oh, yeah.
4 or 5 at this point.
I'll come down and ask for like what the dinner is, avoiding Nikolai.
I'm just at the table.
It's a
Talking with my new friend.
It's different roast and vegetables with the same mulled wine. What are you asking, Peter?
Just general conversation with the barkeep and whether or not his missus is back from the capital.
she's due. I think she's due back in the next couple of days. Got a letter 4 or 5 days ago saying she was on her way home. So she should be home probably next day or two.
That is fine. Hopefully she doesn't run off with more money next time.
Hopefully.
Yes, he did.
Bailey, what are you doing at this point? You have been fishing for several hours.
Fed up with the lackluster catch, Sister Jade's just like grumble, 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 more swearing. Then takes a moment to pack up the gear and compose herself, and then proceeds off in a very nun-like manner. Go back in the wagon and then retire off to the tavern, because apparently that's all there is to do in this town.
It's a very small town. It's like farming and port adjacent. So yeah, probably around this point is when you'd be arriving back in, seeing everyone sort of gathering and eating, along with Gagrador, their new friend.
Well, Nikolai's new friend. Mallory's kind of just done.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just really doesn't like my new characters, does she?
Not really.
There's a major difference to me playing a charismatic character and someone that's smart.
Mallory is just avoiding Nikolai.
No, really, I've never noticed.
As you walk in, Bailey, you are greeted by Gagrador waving to you. Ah, sister, I was wondering when I would meet you. Having said this, I'd like to point out that none of you remember mentioning sister's name. Now that the
None of us
four
have
you-
mentioned anyone's name.
Now that the four of you are in the same room. Everyone is seemingly being addressed by name, although no name has ever been given.
See, I'm under the assumption that Mallory told him everyone's name.
Yeah, no, I'm just pointing it out in character that like this is not something that I'm assuming has been told.
Sister is legitimately going to give the side eye in the case of resting bitch face on her way to the bar.
Oh, honey, was the fishing that bad?
There's a scoff and a chin up and keeps walking.
I'm sure I could give you a hand next time you go fishing.
Just keeps walking.
Say,
Yes.
how do you know they were fishing? No one here mentioned that, I don't think.
You can smell the water and their boots are wet.
Fair enough.
Sister doesn't wear boots. Ah!
Heels.
You just look over at Epsilon, who's got, like, sea salt halfway up the calf from standing in the shore.
I just kind of like shrug. I would have noticed that anyway.
Didn't think a cat could wear heels.
The art you sent me had heels. The other thing is you smell the
Bailey,
fish.
at that point, I'd like to point you to everything Dana has ever drawn.
Fair enough.
They all have heels.
They do, and they're pretty.
But yes, I'm observant.
But yeah, I'm gonna like get food and sit away from the party.
Yep.
You are quite observant. That would be useful.
I mean, it only takes a certain amount of effort to notice the finer things, small details. Helps when you're hunting.
Yes, I am not one for hunting, really. I just, I pay more attention to my studies and research when needed.
See, having the patience to be cautious when looking through things and notice the finer details can be assisting when studying as well. You never know what you might miss by assuming you're reading the only book necessary. Sometimes inference from other sources can be good.
Oh, I am not denying that. I am just saying, my My study normally is fine.
You
A
are,
little hiccup.
you are a very focused scholar, is what you are saying.
Yes. I'll focus on one thing at a time, and perhaps I won't miss something. And if I do, if I have the money, I'll pay someone to help me, because no one can do everything alone.
Laptop shut.
And paying people to help you from the parts that you can't do is normally quite a smart thing to do. And knowing one's own weakness is quite useful.
Yes, it is.
Mine is being observant.
Yes. That's where I'm probably going to call the session, because you guys are getting ready to wrap up and move on into actually going hunting and stuff, and we need to have the other two here to make said decision.